Okay, this is the second practice video for week 7, I believe. Okay. All right. COVID has become one of the deadliest viruses known to mankind, though scientists and researchers have yet to nail down a concrete cause or origin for the virus. It is anticipated that the deadly illness came from a bat or animal of the sort located in China. Since its initial appearance in the United States on January 21st, 2020, cases have soared up to 30,482,127, with 554,871 deaths. Very cool. COVID-19 is a very tricky and exhausting virus, causing symptoms such as shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle exhaustion, cough, fever, nausea, headaches, and etc. While some may be asymptomatic, the majority of cases involve a broad range of symptoms, some lasting weeks or even months after the virus is out of one's system. COVID-19 not only changed the way doctors and scientists look at modern medicine, but also the way society handles personal hygiene and precautions when it comes to illnesses. Whereas before, when an employee or person of interest were to catch a cold, many places of work would find a way to exploit the worker and keep them working. For instance, when I worked at a Mexican restaurant, whenever the lockdown initially occurred, we did to-go, and it wasn't really enforced. We didn't have to wear masks. We didn't have to wear gloves. We were not very regulated. So, luckily, I think only maybe 4 people that ever even worked there had gotten COVID. It can be easily exploited. Whereas nowadays, workers have to complete daily health screenings, and if a symptom were to arise, they would be ordered to stay home. I think it's actually illegal, maybe not illegal, but I know if you test positive and you go out after the CDC tells you have to quarantine, I think there's some legality side of that. Anyways, among these health and safety precautions, maintaining a social distance of 6 feet is required in most, if not all, public spaces, including restaurants, movie theaters, parks, college campuses, doctors' offices, etc. A year ago, at this exact time, the United States was not experiencing a full-blown lockdown yet, and the 6 feet mandate, as well as the mask mandate, was not yet set in place. The United States went to, I wrote this speech maybe a few weeks ago, but now, since it's after spring break, the U.S. would be experiencing a lockdown. The mask mandate was not mandated yet, I think not until April, or actually the mask mandate was not mandated until later, because I remember at the restaurant I worked at, we weren't forced to wear masks until June. So, okay. Restaurants and other businesses such as bars, nightclubs, and schools were forced to temporarily shut down in mid-March of 2020. High school seniors set to graduate in the spring of 2020 were exiled from school and required to continue their schooling online. This created a problem because many teachers were not fit to teach online, and many students fell behind. This carried on into the fall and the next spring semester, where freshman college students were struggling to keep up with college life. Classes were still required to be online and not in person, and previously overly populated college campuses were ghost towns. This is also the same with highly populated major cities such as Houston, New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, etc. These major cities were barren, and many roads were shut down for months on end in hopes of not inspiring traffic downtown. Something many speculated might occur due to the lockdown mandate was a spike in the birth rate for 2020. Though it proved to not be as big of a predicament as anticipated, the U.S. still saw a rise in the annual birth rate. With many newborns being born at the beginning of the lockdown, as they grew, there were certain issues that arose. One issue that is expected to occur during the growth of babies born during the pandemic is the emotional turmoil that the babies might experience. It is expected that the babies born will be antisocial, easily fearful, and/or sad, and seek less pleasure in life. While this may not be the case for each and every baby born during the lockdown, it is safe to speculate that a large group of babies will face long-term trauma. This is also the case for mothers who were pregnant or new moms during the lockdown. With doctors' offices only allowing the patient in during a visit, many new moms were faced with anxiety and worry about facing the appointments alone. Many mothers were also very fearful of their newborns contracting COVID, and that also plays a part in their mindsets after COVID-19 is resolved. In conclusion, the coronavirus sparked global panic throughout the year 2020 and continues to carry on into the year 2021. Though vaccines are now becoming readily available, it is still foreseen that the virus will continue to torment the nation until cases are fully eradicated. This will take time and effort, and as we've witnessed thus far, there are some sacrifices Americans are and aren't willing to make when it comes down to partying and social distancing. As of now, cases are still rising in the U.S., but the nation is hopeful that the vaccine will eventually take over.